You are listening to the You Get to Decide podcast with Allison Cratchola Gallagher, episode number 1. Welcome to the You Get to Decide podcast. This is your life and business coach and host, Allison Cratchola Gallagher. I help all you high achievers out there feel content and confident so that you can feel happy now. Then you're just going to go out and create the life of your dreams faster. Through my journey, coaches have helped me completely transform my life, and now I get to help you do the same. Every week, we're going to talk tools, tips, and tricks to help you take consistent action based off the life you want. Because you really do get to decide your life. And I am here to remind you of that every week. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful that you're here and I am excited for this journey. Welcome to my very first episode of my podcast. It's been something I've wanted to do for many years. And if you're waiting for the perfect day is never going to come. You have to just push through the discomfort of not knowing, of figuring it out, of doing the thing, right? And so here I am. And the reason why I named this podcast You Get to Decide is because I had spent so many years in therapy off and on since I was 18. Then I hired my first coach in 2017 or 2018. And it was years even into coaching that I truly understood that I really do get to decide that I don't just have to be on robot with whatever my brain is offering me. And I wanted to fast forward all of the books I read and all the therapy I was in and all the things I did incorrectly to help you just cut the chase, cut through the fat, and just explain how. And there's so much we're going to explore, but this very first podcast, I just want you to understand the basics of our brain. And I've shared this in a lot of different rooms, but I'm going to start here and you come back to this over and over and over again for a reset. Because our brains offer us thoughts all day. If you read Michael Singer's book, The Tethered Soul, he talks about our brain yammers on, and we don't even know where those thoughts are coming from. There is no science proven that those thoughts are coming from us. They're coming from somewhere else. And we get to decide, you're going to hear me say this probably on every episode randomly about all types of things. It's really one of the phrases that I say regularly now. I even tell my 12-year-old daughter, you get to decide which thoughts you actually want to believe. And it's so powerful. Then, as you move through that and you get good at that, then you get to decide what you want to believe and you create those thoughts and then make them your truth. This is so powerful. This is really how you're going to change your life. If you can't attain a goal, or if you don't even know what your goals are, this is the way to figure out what makes you happy, where you want to go in your life, how you want to feel, how you want to show up in the world. This can be the foundation of that. Yes, there's other things involved, but this can really be the foundation of thinking your way to showing up how you want, right? Because sometimes attaining a goal, we have no evidence that we can attain it. So we have to decide that we're going to do it. Or we can decide, we see the evidence. We see the evidence that other people are doing it, so we can do it. I want to decide that I can do and be anything I want to be. And then it is putting in the work to find the evidence that I can, create the evidence that I can, or just not give a shit and just figure it out and go do it. And then you see failure differently then. So I want to go back to our brains. right? So our brain's offering, I don't know, people tell me 60,000 thoughts a day. I did not Google this, but coaches that I highly respect have said it's 60,000 thoughts a day. How many of them are we actually hearing? I don't know. And what the dangerous part is, subconsciously they're happening and we don't know they're there. And if we have a thought, I heard someone say recently, if you have a belief that you can't trust people, that people are untrustworthy from past trauma, maybe, and this is just one example, but if you have this belief deep down that people are not trustworthy, how are you going to go out and create a business? How are you going to go out and talk to people? Right? Your brain is going to tell you that there's something wrong, that it's unsafe, and you don't even realize it. There's not a thought that's saying, this is unsafe, go home, or this is unsafe, you can't try to sell to this person. It's going to sabotage you in other ways by telling you not to go at all, or procrastination, right? But you don't realize that underlying belief might be I can't trust people. People are going to let me down. People are going to abandon me. And if that's a really big belief that you have from some type of trauma, some type of relationship, some type of a parenting situation, a bad breakup, we create these beliefs based on things that go on in our life to protect us in the future, right? Our brain is now protecting us from abandonment. So people are not trustworthy. And that's going to show up with roadblocks to sell, roadblocks to go out and date, all the things, because our brain is wired to keep us safe, not make us happy. So we have to decide what happiness looks like. We get to decide that it's safe. We get to decide we're capable. We get to decide our actions all day. Whether you believe that or not, that is true. We have full capability, power to choose every single moment. Okay? And that's even with any type of addiction. We can override our brain. Now, yes, in cases there's medication involved and there's diagnoses and all those things. But for the majority of us, and I have even spoken to my therapist about, do I need medication? Because I've had such high highs and such low lows in my life emotionally. But for today, I am managing my mind on the thoughts I'm choosing to think. I have hired a coach to help me with any underlying subconscious beliefs that maybe I have that I don't realize are still there. Because I had a deep belief that I am not worthy, that I am broken from very young. And over time, I'll tell my story, but I can't have it all. It doesn't work for me. It works for other people. You know, I was in a victimhood for a long time. Nope. See, it happens for them. It doesn't happen for me. See, I told you that wasn't going to work. See, I told you told me this would work, but it didn't. Right. And I couldn't wait to tell the people when they told me I could do the thing. I couldn't wait to go back to them and say, I told you this won't work. I couldn't wait. Right. There was a part of me that could not wait. Of course, I was out there trying to better my life. But I couldn't wait to tell the coach, the therapist, the teacher, the whoever who said, yes, you can go do this. I couldn't wait to go back and tell them, you were wrong. I told you I am broken. And there is still even something inside of me, that victim inside of me, she's still very much there. And she feeds off of that. I don't allow her to today. I'm fully aware of victimhood. I was able to finally recognize it and move through it. And I know when she's there, but she doesn't drive the ship, right? I'm driving the ship. So the reason why I name this is you get to decide is because, and I'm going to say it over and over again, because I need your brain to hear this. You get to decide. And we are so busy running, that we don't slow down enough to listen to what our thoughts are. That is the first step. To actually listen to what our brain is offering us. We are not our thoughts. I promise you, we are separate from our thoughts. And how do we know that? Because we can observe them. We can stop and just observe our thoughts. Journaling is a huge way to do that. And we are so busy running our kids, running our business, running to work, taking care of our parents, whatever it is. And sometimes we don't want to slow down because we feel like it's so loud in our brain. But I'm telling you, when you pause and listen over time, when you really do this work, and what I know at Alves is thought work. So anytime I speak about thought work, this is what I'm talking about. Listening to our thoughts, looking at them, journaling them, looking at them on paper, creating new thoughts that we want to believe. All that is some type of thought work, and it is the most powerful and fastest way to change your life. And knowing that it's a decision, that we have choices in the moment, though it doesn't feel like we do, we really do. And it is really the fastest way, the most powerful way to slow down and decide in the moment, is this how I want to show up? Oh, I want to freak out on my husband right now, but is that really what I want to do? And why do I want to freak out on my husband? So let's process this, and we get to decide, not just react. Okay, same with our kids. Same with our goals, right? If we have a workout goal or a weight goal or, a goal to write a book or build a business, and we are in the moment going where our brain is telling us to go, which is probably going to be procrastination in some way, or talk us out of the workout, or, well, you had a hard day, so just have a glass of wine. You'll be okay. Meanwhile, you have weight goals, right? Or, you know what? Eat those cookies or eat everything on your kid's leftover plate. No, that's a belief too, right? We don't have to, we can throw out food, right? We get to decide. And for me, I want to decide based on who I want to be, right? And that takes creating new habits. So that's what this is going to be about, and reminding you get to decide, all the ways that you do get to decide, all the tools to help you in those moments, because of course this work is not easy, but it is so powerful. And for me as a mom, I teach my daughter, that's where she has so much power. If a kid is being mean to her, I tell her that boy or girl gets to decide how they want to show up in the world. You get to decide if that's okay. And if it's not okay, you move in the other direction. They get to decide how they want to show up. Good, bad, ugly, they get to do all the things. But then you get to decide, is this good for me? Is this enough for me? Is this the type of friend I think I want? And then you make the decision based on what you want, who you want to be. And it creates so much power for her that she knows that she has power. She knows she's not helpless. She's not a victim, right? You're a product of your choices, is what I tell her. And she laughs. But it's true. We are a product of our choices, right? So if we don't like our results, what are we choosing on a daily basis? So I want to go back to a formula that we're going to use throughout this podcast. And I do it in my seminars, and I've learned it from Brooke Castillo and my coaches, that circumstances are neutral. The circumstances in our life, the situations in our life are very neutral until we bring a thought to it. And our thoughts are going to create our feelings, which then is usually how we take action. We take action based on how we feel. That's really normal for human beings. And then the action is going to create our results. Right? So if we take different actions, we get different results. But what you get to decide is, okay, this is the thought I have, but do I like it? I get to decide on my thought. Or I'm feeling like shit right now. But I still get to decide. I don't feel like going to get my workout in. I don't feel like recording my podcast or whatever. But I get to decide what I'm going to do next. Just because I feel like shit, my feelings don't have to directly correlate with my results as far as if I feel like shit, I'm just not going to do it. No, I get to decide, so I can do it feeling shitty. And it might not be the best product, but I can still do it. That's why I love that phrase, because normally when as far as the thought model is, whatever the circumstances is neutral. Okay. So even human beings are neutral. Your business is neutral. Your boss is neutral. Your job, your kids are neutral until you bring a thought to it. Right. I think very different thoughts about my daughter than other people do. I think very different thoughts about me than other people think about me. Right? Everybody's going to have a different thought about my podcast or my business or my logo or whatever, right? It's all neutral. The circumstance of a flat tire is neutral until you bring a thought to it. Some people are going to be like, no big deal. I got this. Other people are going to be like, this is the worst day ever. I suck. I'm terrible. I don't know how to change. Like everybody. And then that thought's going to create that feeling, right? So if you have a feeling after a flat tire, if you have the thought, oh, no big deal. I got this. Like I'll call someone. I know who to call. It is what it is. That feeling is kind of neutral. It's more like calm and in control, more powerful. Right? And maybe the result is you take action faster. And then you go about your day and finish up your day. Some people about their flat tires are going to be like, this is ridiculous. Why does this always happen to me? I have nobody to help me. And I'm just randomly thinking of thoughts that are detrimental to our well-being in our day. I have nobody to help me. I wish I knew. I should know better. I shouldn't have had to change my tire. I'm a ridiculous, whatever. I'm not smart enough. And then your action is maybe you delay. You allow it to interrupt your day, that you don't get your goals finished, and you come home, maybe then you yell at your kids, right? But we get to decide in the between, okay? So this is where I wanted to show you circumstances are neutral in your life. Most of them, I mean, for the most part, it's anything that what they say is anything that can be proven in the court of law, right? Because then there's math and there's drama, right? Oh, well, my boss is mean to me. That's not a circumstance. Okay, give me one sentence that the boss said to you that is mean, and we'll work from there. Right? Because our brain likes to catastrophize. So let's look at the math versus the drama. Fact versus the catastrophizing. But coming back to reminding you that all the circumstances in our life that go on, we get to decide what we think about them, and we get to decide what we want to feel about them, right? So if I have a setback in my business, I get to decide what it means. Does it mean that this is harder than it should be? Does this mean that it's slow? Does this mean that I'm not capable? It could mean a ton of things if I allow it to. My brain's going to tell me, this is going to take forever. My brain likes to tell me, you're not smart enough. You're not capable, right? No, I get to decide. So you know what I decide? There's something in this moment that I need to learn. So let me figure that out. Let me go back to the drawing board and try this again. And I'm going to change this, and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to come back to the drawing board and see what happens. Because I know I'm capable. Because I know I'm worthy. I know that I'm smart. I know that I have value to offer. So I'm not going to let my brain derail me from what I know I can do. But knowing I can do it is a thought too. That's just a belief. But I choose to believe that because I love to feel good and I like good feeling thoughts. And I want to believe that I'm capable. So I'm just going to decide ahead of time that I am. And anytime I fail, it's just learning because I am capable. But it might take 10 tries. That's it. So once this became on repeat for me that I get to decide, It took a lot of time for me to even be aware of that. That I'm not a victim to my thoughts. I'm not a victim to my life. That we get to decide ahead of time. And that's what I do on a daily basis for myself. I'm going to help my daughter do this. In some ways, I help my husband when he might ask. But I want to help everyone in their life understand that you have choices. And what do we want to think about ourselves? What do we want to think about our kids? What do we want to think about our business or our job or where we are in life? Right? I want to think that if I'm struggling with something, this is temporary. This is temporary. I'm here to learn something. This is stretching my capabilities. This is stretching my bandwidth for what I can tolerate, right? And as I grow in my business and challenge myself, I have my bandwidth, my capacity has to grow and stretch, right? Because new level, new devil. And I'm down with that. So I make it mean I'm stretching into the person I want to be. Not that I'm not capable. I'm dumb. It's not going to work for me. And I did that for a long time. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And if I could help anyone, and if I was only with them for 5 minutes, this is what I would say to them. If they were never going to see me again and I wanted to leave lasting impact, that is what I would say to them, is you get to decide your thoughts, which create your beliefs. I want to challenge you that your beliefs are not fact. It doesn't matter how much evidence they're based on. Your beliefs are just a sentence in your head that you decided to think over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? Even when you didn't know it was happening. So you weren't consciously deciding, but your brain was offering you that thought over and over and over and over, and you attached yourself to it, and that is a belief. And that's all a belief is. We can change them. So I want to ask you, do your beliefs serve you? Do your beliefs about your kids serve you? Do your beliefs about your job serve you? Do your beliefs about your deep dreams that are deep buried in you that you keep thinking about, that you've taken no action on? Are those beliefs serving you about those goals, those dreams? Because you haven't started on them yet. Why? Why? Are all your beliefs serving you? And if they're not, you get to decide to change them. And I want to help you do that. Because you deserve to live free, happy, joyful, light, calm, patient. You deserve to have to live out your purpose, whatever that is. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to make the money that deep down you know you want to make. You deserve all that. You have infinite worth and you have full capability. If other humans on this planet are doing it, you can too. So I'm going to be here to remind you of that every single week. And we're going to do interviews, and I begged my husband to start a podcast with me, and he's too busy. So I'm definitely going to have him on, but I'm super excited to remind you weekly your power. Because we like to be told that life's a crapshoot and that it is what it is, or you can't have it all, or all the other cliches that don't serve us. You can be a successful business owner and a great mom. P.S. You just get to decide you are. You just get to decide you are. Beating ourselves up for, missing a school activity because we were at work does not serve us, does not serve our kids. We get to decide we're doing our best. Okay, so that's why I'm here. I am here to remind you of your power. I hope that when you leave this podcast, you feel extra motivated. You feel like you have a cheerleader in your corner that knows what she's talking about, because I do. And you feel heard. You feel heard. You know, growing up, I didn't feel heard, and that was nobody's fault. But I know how important it is to feel heard, acknowledged, understood. So I'm hoping some of this resonates with you, empowers you, makes you stop and think, what are my beliefs? Are they serving me? Remember, they're not fact. They're not fact. You get to change them. And my life changed when I completely changed my belief systems. And that is a rewiring of my brain. Your brain is malleable. You can make it be whatever you want it to be. I want to believe that I have long-lasting, impactful, life-changing thoughts in my brain that serve the world. And so then I get excited to find them and to use them and take action. It's really quite fun way to live. That doesn't mean I don't have problems. I don't have stresses. I don't worry. I don't have some anxiety. I lived in anxiety for a very long time. I woke up in panic every single morning. And I don't do that today, but she's still very much there and still needs healing. So I understand the trials and tribulations of life. I've had chronic emotional pain in my life. Debilitating emotional pain in my life, but I have to say most of that came from my own brain, right? And I'm just not going to allow it. I haven't allowed it for a long time, but every day I get better and happier and healthier, more well-adjusted, and more capable of being super aware of what my brain is offering me. And that's what I want for you. I want you to make your brain your bitch. And no, I got this. You're offering me this thought. You're telling me I'm not good enough. You're telling me not to talk to this person. You're telling me not to go out and date. You're telling me whatever it is. But nope. We're going anyway because you're lying to me, right? Our brain lies to us. So you get to decide. This is it. This is the first episode. Thank you so much. And I hope this helped. Follow me on all the different places that this is going to be. Share this with someone who you think could use a little kickstart, extra motivation, needs some help. And I will talk to you next week. Bye. Hold up. Before you go, are you ready to accelerate the road to your goals? Or have you lost momentum and need some extra help? Or maybe you just know you're meant for more but don't know where to start. I can help you. I invite you to a free call with me where we're going to talk about where you are and where you want to be. And at the end of that call, you're going to have a ton of clarity, you're going to feel relieved, and you're going to know the steps to take to get you where you want to go. And then you decide if working with me is the right fit or not. No sweat. Go to my website, AllisonGallagher.com/coaching, or the link to my calendar and to connect with me is in the show notes. It is time to stop dreaming about the life you want and start taking steps in that direction. Let's go. This is Allison Cratchola Gallagher and the You Get to Decide podcast. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys later. Bye.